Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Walking with Will, and it's 10 to 7, so you're just in time for another Walk with Will. That's me. Today we're going to go to Shibden Mill Inn. So we've been to Shibden Park before, but further on the other side of Halifax into more North Arm area, or Stump Cross I should say, is Shibden Mill Inn, which is a really historical building. So it's a great setting for me to meet Matt because it's in between Queensbury and Brighouse, so what better location to go with him and have a coffee during this, lockdown where I'm not allowed to go to him and actually walk anywhere. I have to meet him while walking, but not travel there to walk, but still having exercise with him, but still allowed to, but not allowed to, and yeah, whatever. So we're going to start at the Hove steps, which I showed you in the pilot episode. Just walk along the bottom of the valley and we're going to go past an old Brickworks. We're going to go past an old theme park, which I'm hopefully going to tell you a bit about. And if we've got time, then I want to travel up Dark Lane that I told you about last episode. If you haven't seen it already, go check it out. It's really interesting. Going to travel all the way up there, go to Beacon Hill, and then down into Shibden Park and on to Shibden Mill Inn. It's about 7 degrees out at the moment, so we're getting a lot warmer now. I say a lot warmer, but a lot warmer than it was, say 0 degrees and minus degrees. But it is raining constantly, and it's going to do that all day, so I wanted to just wear a base layer and get up some body heat, but I've had to just go full waterproof gear if I'm going to be out for 2 to 3 hours, and just kind of roll with it really. I think that's all we need to know to get going now, so let's do it. So we're just coming up to the Hove Edge steps now, as I like to call them. And this is the start of our route really. So we're going to go down the steps and then straight along the valley to the right. In the pilot episode I did say there was a segment that goes down the valley and then up the other side to South Iron, but I'm not going to do that today because that's not where I'm wanting to head. I don't want to, alright? Is that alright? So I'm just going to take it easy along the bottom of the valley until I maybe decide to go up Dark Lane, which is pretty gnarly, because I did my first ever 10k run yesterday and I might be a little slower than usual, just saying. Let's get on with it. It's 20 minutes after sunrise now. As you can see, it's not any different till when I started. So again, we've tried to get out for the sunrise, but I guess in the colder months, the winter months, it's just not really on the cards. It's harder and harder to get. Someday we will get that sunrise. But these fields that I'm walking through now are really, really waterlogged because they're next to the beck here. And it doesn't help that it's been raining all night, and it will do all day. So I've pretty much slid all the way down that hill over there. But there are some horses in this field normally. They're all in the homes, they're all in the stables. If you're lucky and you look along the beck, you can see a heron flying over. I've only seen this heron once, but apparently it's here all the time, and I'm just apparently blind to it all. But yeah, keep your eye out for a heron along the beck.
underneath me, you might notice that there's what looks like used to be a brick footpath that's been completely obliterated and taken over by the running water. And many years ago, if you're coming along here, you'd probably be going to work, because we're coming up to an old Brickworks, which is really, really cool. Now, it's, oh, this has been completely taken over, look. And now it's just a derelict site with loads of graffiti all over the place, which is quite cool, because as well as that, there's trees wrapped all in and out of the derelict buildings. So you've got artwork, broken civilization, and nature taking over all in one place. It is a really cool place. I'll take you around a little bit, but I don't know how safe it is or sketchy it is. So there's a disclaimer on coming here. Let's have a look. Let's have a little gander and get on. Now what I showed you there, and just that little snippet, was only a tiny section of the Brickworks. It's pretty massive, and you can explore it all, but yeah, I've seen all sorts there before. Obviously people spray painting, music going from night before, and drones being flown around the place and stuff like that, because I bet you can get some right good footage of like drones zooming in and out of all the open, like, well, bricks and spray paint really. But yeah, when we get to our halfway point at Shibden Milling, I've got some books in my bag. That's right, books. So they still exist about the history of Brighouse and Halifax area. So hopefully it can shed some light and some details. Now we could have kept on going and gone straight to Shibden Milling, but we're not. If you've seen one of the previous episodes, then I'm going up Dark Lane to Beacon Hill. So I'm travelling the old route from Wakefield back to Halifax. It's so steep, so it's going to suck, but it's quite cool to think I'm walking the same footsteps as from a civil war or something like that. There's a plaque back down there, and if you want to see me go into more detail about Dark Lane, then check out the episode where I read all the plaque out and come down Dark Lane, not up it, which was a lot easier, let me tell you. So that was the uphill of Dark Lane. Can you imagine trying to carry all your cargo to go trade at the Peace Hall or something from there? Jesus, that's not a life for anyone. I think I deserve a drink of water after that. Now I could turn right down here, and that would take me straight to Shibden, as it was the path that I came up before when I last did a walk with Matt. But we're carrying on up the trade route to Beacon Hill. This is the gate I came out of in the pilot episode as I was walking to Shibden, because it's just over there really, over that wall. that behind me is Beacon House. And I say behind me because I'm pretty sure I am allowed to go through there, and there's a path that just goes straight onto Beacon Hill. But I don't fancy getting killed by a dog today. Yes, I know, he came up to me and he didn't attack me or anything like that, but he definitely wanted to keep me out, so I didn't want to venture any further in. So I'm going back and the long way around. Ugh. This is Beacon Hill, and it's a great place. You saw that I had to walk uphill a little bit again, so that was another killer, but it's called Beacon Hill. What do you expect? It's on the top of a big hill. This is where the beacons are lit, if you're a fan of Lord of the Rings. And from here is a vantage point where you can see the whole of Halifax town, and beyond really. If it was a clearer day, then I'd be able to see way out into the distance. But because it's a bit of a miserable morning, well, actually, I've been up here where I can't see even in front of me. So being able to see most of Halifax town is pretty damn good, really. And it's great because you can see all the different ages of like all the buildings as well, along with like focal points like the Peace Hall, and then even compared to the new a new Broad Street Plaza which was built. But yeah, Square Chapel's there, that red brick building. The Victoria Theatre, you can just kind of see it, although I thought it'd be a lot bigger to see from up here. But yeah, you can just about see Wayne House Tower just at the top left there. And of course, the beacon itself. It's just a brazier really, where you'd put loads of fuel and light it. I'd love to see it lit. I've never seen it lit. I wonder if they do light it. They must do at some points as a celebration of something. But sadly, I've got to get off right quick because I've just got word from Matt, and he's already there. He's already at Shibden Mill Inn. I suspect that he got the shorter route. Either that, or I've been dilly-dallying too much filming for all you guys. Another thing I didn't tell you about Beacon Hill, which is really cool I think, is that from Halifax train station, the train track goes through the hill, like straight through the hill. They dug one of those massive tunnels for it, which is, I mean, it's an incredible feat in and of itself, because that must have been an hard job, and I bet a lot of people probably died doing it. But yeah, and in places on top of the hill there are huge air ducts that just go vertically down, because otherwise there'd just be, you wouldn't be able to breathe. You'd get on the train, you'd sit down, and then as soon as you went through the tunnel, you'd probably just pass out. Although I guess it would make the journey a lot quicker. This is the this is the dreaded place in the pilot episode. Pirate episode? That'd be good, wouldn't it? Yarr! In the pilot episode, where I slipped over on ice, fell backwards with my arm behind my back, and that bloody killed. So thankfully it's not icy today. So, because it's raining, Matt and Nate Dog is also there waiting. He's giving me a what 3 words, look doors person, because it's raining, so they wanted to find some shelter. So they just wanted to give me the exact location of where that shelter is. What 3 words, guys? Get it downloaded because it's such a useful tool and maybe a lifeline if you get lost. So we've arrived at Shibden Milling, and Matt, you texted me while I was walking on the way down saying, "Oh, you've got the kettle," and I was like, "Oh, what a mistake! What we should have done if you got there first, you could have already had the kettle on."
Good.
And then when we got here, we have no gas.
Oh.
So
Next time.
no cup of coffee this time. No cup of coffee for you anyway, Nick, because you don't like it.
I brought him enough chocolate.
Oh, did you? Bless you.
But when it's post-COVID, we can all meet here and have a drink.
That's it, yeah. In that little horse box there.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's still during COVID, but yeah, normally Shibden Milling on a weekend, this horse box is this horse box right here. Yes, thank you, Nate. Is used for like takeout drinks, and then they make some like butties inside and bring them out to you, don't they? Stuff like that.
System. See, there's no one here today.
Yeah. I mean, it's not open today.
No. Only weekends after Christmas.
Yeah. It's a very old building, though.
It is.
I'd like to know. See if you can get up how old the building is, because it's great. It's got all like wonky windows, and it's one of them classic like Tudor looking buildings that you don't see right often.
I reckon it'll be like early 1800s.
Oh, I reckon it's earlier than that.
Yeah.
I reckon about 1682 or something like that. Remember, there's £1 million on this. This is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
It just says 17th century.
So 1600.
It is an old.
You celebrated too early then. I would get my books out here and stuff like that. I would get my book out, but yeah, it's really wet, and I don't want to damage them. So I'm probably gonna do all the historical stuff when we get back to Mindfoot Roundup.
Voice it over.
That's
You
it.
could voice it
I
over.
could voice it over. That's a good idea. Because I keep teasing everyone that when I was at the Brickworks, I tell them that I'd tell them about it later, and now like me, I'm telling them that I'm going to tell them about it later, and it's never going to come basically. But yeah, Matt, you were saying that they used to do guinea pig nights here.
So the chef used to just cook different dishes and then put it on your plate in front of you, and you wouldn't really know what you were getting until you got it. So it was quite a cool experience.
Yeah, it was meant to be all a bit weird and wonderful stuff you've never tried, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was going to say something else as well. Oh yeah, it was well longer for me.
It was a bit longer for you, yeah. I've done about 6.5 or so, 6.5 K. I've done 9.
I've done 9, and Nate's just got out of bed.
Yeah. It's not far for Nate.
That's a joke. I'm still in my pyjamas.
But I am going to take a short way home, so I could have made it easier on myself.
Yeah.
But I went the cool way.
20 steps today.
Mm.
Anyway, all uphill on my own. Yeah. It's only gradual.
I've got mine's like flat because I walk along the bottom of the valley, and then right at the end it just goes way right home.
Yeah. Catch you next time.
Yeah.
I'm in episode 5 now.
That's well.
Episode 6.
This is episode 5. Yeah, you're in episode 5.
Yeah, I missed episode 4 today.
Yes, you missed episode 4, so you're not in every episode. But yeah, and Nate, you've made your thrilling return.
Oh yeah.
Since episode 1.
Since the pilot,
Yeah.
that's right.
Right, we're off.
All right, I catch you in a bit. Go home and get yourself dry. Get yourself in a shower.
Get yourself some Rocket League. All uphill on my own. Yeah. It's only gradual.
I've got mine's like flat because I walk along the bottom of the valley, and then right at the end it just goes way right home.
Yeah. Catch you next time.
Yeah.
I'm in episode 5 now.
That's well.
Episode 6.
This is episode 5. Yeah, you're in episode 5.
Yeah, I missed episode 4 to that.
Yes, you missed episode 4, so you're not in every episode. But yeah, and Nate, you've made your thrilling return.
Oh yeah.
Since episode 1.
Since the pilot.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right, right off.
All right, I catch you in a bit. Go home and get yourself dry. Get yourself in a shower.
Get yourself some Rocket League.
So after that brief catch up with Matt and Nate Dog and the sheer disappointment of Matt forgetting his gas canister so we can't have a cup of coffee, we're heading on our way back now. But as Matt was saying back there, the building of Shibden Mill Inn, yes, it was built in the 1700s, and there's not exactly a date there. My guess was 1682, so I was quite proud of that. It was originally a corn and spinning mill, and then it was only until 1890 that it became a country pub. So it's still quite a long time that it's been in the pub business. But we're on our way back now. I'm going to go a little bit of a shorter way because I don't need to go back up Beacon Hill. I'm kind of glad that we weren't like waiting for the kettle to boil, having a cup of coffee and all that thing, because as nice as it would have been, because it's just not stopped raining, by the end of it I'd have got cold very quickly and I'd just been absolutely soaking, and then I'd have had to walk home being soaking and cold because we'd just been sat there. And as you know, the way to keep warm is to keep moving, so let's keep moving. Tell you what, as we're just coming back into Shibden Park now, I might as well tell you some of the history of Shibden Mill Inn and the park itself instead of waiting for a later episode, because I'm here now, so I might as well. Especially now I've got all the time in the world after not having a coffee. Matt. So, Shibden Mill Inn. So Shibden Hall dates back to around 1420, recorded as being inhabited by a guy called William Oates. But for 300 years, and this is what people know it for most, Shibden Estate was in the hands of the Lister family. And the most notable person out of that was someone called Anne Lister, who became the sole owner of it after her aunt died. And she's the main character of the TV drama Gentleman Jack, which was her nickname. She commissioned a landscape gardener in 1830 to make extensive improvements to the house and grounds, because she basically wanted to make it really, really nice for everyone. And that's where you get like the Cascades, which is like the big waterfall where Red Beck comes out, and
all the dry stone walls and the pillars and a lot of like the design aspects in the gardens and stuff like that. And after that, it kind of changed hands, but then back again to the Lister family, who eventually donated it in 1933 to the Halifax Corporation. It was opened as a museum, and the estate became a public park in 1926, and the hall was a museum in 1934. Obviously, it's a Grade 2 listed building, but also the gardens are Grade 2 listers as well. That happened in the year 2000, and then subsequently after that, in 2007, 2008, there was a lot of work done to like restore the gardens and stuff like that. But that was a pretty brief history of Shibden Hall and Shibden Hall Estate. And if you want a very dramatised version of it, then you could go watch Gentleman Jack, which is all about Anne Lister when she was in charge of the estate.
So you can see here that this is the main gate to the estate, which is where we came back in from Shibden Milling. Just off here, that's where you'd go up to Beacon Hill, where we came down from. And we're here now, so it's still quite like a big grounds for it. And as I said here, this is where the train track comes out. You can see that little dotted line there. That's where it just goes straight through the hill. But let's read a bit about it. Welcome to Shibden Hall and Park, a family home from 1420 to 1933. And still a place for the whole family to enjoy today. There is a lot to see and do at Shibden. The hall is open to the public from the beginning of March through to the end of October. Here you can learn about the history of Shibden and its many residents, including Lister family. There are gardens, woodland walks, a children's play area, boating on the lake, a miniature railway, a land train and children's rides. For something to eat and drink, visit the Mearside Cafe. Walks around the park provide spectacular views from Shibden Valley, connecting paths to take you up to Beacon Hill with a view across the whole of Halifax. There are several points of interest around the park, such as the dry stone wall exhibition, carved wooden sculptures, the wilderness area, the lodge gatehouse and carriage drive. Whether you are here for the history and heritage or the park and recreation, we hope and enjoy your visit to Shibden and look forward to welcoming you back again soon. So we're now just by the boating house, but we've got another board to read all about the wildlife here. So let's have a read. The Mere is an artificial lake created by John Harper, Anne Lister's architect, in 1836. It formed a major part of her grand plans for the Shibden estate and was designed to give the impression of a river flowing through the valley when viewed from the hall. During its construction, puddle clay was used to line the mere, which is nearly 150 metres long, 37 metres wide and originally 2 metres deep. Water from the mere was diverted from Red Beck, so called because the polluted red oxides from the local mines. Water flows back into Red Beck via a cascade at the southern end of the lake, some 10 to 15 metres below the lake's water level. This allows Anne to harness the water power to run machinery in her works at Mitham, lower down the valley. On the shore of the mere is the new boathouse, which replaces the old one, constructed at the same time as the lake. Boathouses were very common features on estate lakes during this time. The current boathouse has been designed to reference that heritage and is constructed from some local stone and timber. It is the place to go if you would like to hire a boat to take out onto water. And then you've got a little bit of about the duckies, little duckies. The mere is home to a variety of birds of different types throughout the year. See if you can spot any of the following. Mallard, known as dabbling duck because it feeds by upending on the water surface and only rarely dives. The mallard is probably the best known of all recognisable ducks. Well, you've got the tufted duck on the bottom left. The tufted duck is a medium-sized diving duck. It has a black-headed neck, breast and back, white sides, a small crest and a yellow one. Then you've got the moorhen, the middle top. The moorhen is a medium-sized ground-dwelling bird, usually found near water. It has a red bill with a yellow tip and likes to eat water plants, seeds, fruit, grasses, insects, snails and worms. So a lot of stuff really. And then my favourite, down at the bottom, the coot. The coot is all black and larger than its cousin. It has a distinctive white beak and a shield above, from which it earns the title bald. It can be quite aggressive towards other birds. Vegetation, snails and insect larvae are food for the coot. And then you've also got the Canada goose. This is a large goose with a distinctive black head and neck and a large white throat patch. It often forms noisy flocks. It likes to feed on roots, grass, leaves and seeds. Even just found what I think to be is a kingfisher, maybe? Is that a kingfisher? Not entirely sure. I'll have to double check that. Let's get on because this rain is starting to proper come down now. So we've come to the last point of interest, which is on our way home, and you might think that yes, it is the way we came, but I wanted to save something special for right at the end. And all along the left side here, you can see is just kind of fields and stuff like that. And what it actually used to be was a theme park named Sunny Vale. Well, people actually used to call it Sunny Bunces was its popular name or nickname, because it was made, the grounds were all done up by a guy called Joseph Bunce, but it used to have a miniature railway, a maze, a roller skating rink, 2 man-made lakes for boating, and then just fields as well for sitting and picnicking. I think it was the turn of the century of like 1900s.
And Sunnyvale was developed and people were calling it the playground of the North, as in like the Alton Towers of its time. So the main building was like a bespoke tea room, like Betty's in Harrogate or something like that. And people actually had to pre-book just because you won't get space otherwise. On the lake, you could do water cycling. I don't know, maybe it's like rowing, but cycling on water. Apparently it wasn't for the faint-hearted. You had to have some balls for that. There were donkey rides for all the children, obviously. The little railway that went round it, that was called Baby Bunce, was originally made for Blackpool Pleasure Beach, but eventually moved to Sunny Vale, Sunny Bunces. It's still actually alive, I should say. It's just not there. It's in Lightwater Valley under the name of Little Giant. So people still ride it today. It's just not in where it used to be. And the hedge maze, how to get into Bunces for note. Because people from South Ireland, what they used to do is they used to come down to abuse like a hole in the fence which went straight into the hedge maze. So you'd be able to admit yourself for free basically just by sneaking in through the maze. But I guess you had to actually know your way through the maze to actually get out.
But now, sadly, it's nowhere near anything like that. It fell into disrepair, and so you can just see the red beck that comes out, and it feeds into like a lake that is not maintained. So it's just become this kind of like really boggy quagmire, which is why when I was walking up to the Brickworks, all of that path was just so flooded, because it's from that man-made lake that's just kind of gone completely into disrepair. But it's nice to think that this here was a theme park in the middle of a small town. How cool is that? It'd be nice for it to be done up, you know, and I hope that I can see something like that. Similar to Cromwell Bottom Nature Reserve on the canal that I went with Jake, then if that could happen here as well and get back to its former self, that'd be beautiful. It is a bit horrible, which is sad, but it's a relic of a bygone era. That's deep, man. brings us back to the Brickworks now. And one thing I always like is that some of the bricks, the red bricks normally, in the frogs, which are like the little indentations, are sometimes written like place names of around the area. And I know people that have come here, taken one home as a little memento and have a souvenir of where they're from, really. So shall we see if we can find some place names? If we can find some place names. So we've got Stairfoot there. Oh, there's not one on there. What's that one say? Rushforth, Adwalton. No, there's not one there. Ah, Birkby and Wyke. Nice. I grew up in Birkby. There's the one here. Or you can just kind of see that this one would say brick house. That's cool. Someone's trying to make some sort of a makeshift dam out of them, but on a day like today, it hasn't worked very well. Does that say? Ah, there you go. That would say Halifax. Nice. I've just found something I've been on the lookout to find, because you see them stairs? You see them? I know where the top of those stairs are. For some reason, they've always remained hidden to me, but now it seems that the fates have smiled on me, and now I can go and discover what it's all about. I just hope that, you know, they don't stop halfway up and I have to come back down. I mean, the stairs did stop. When the stairs stopped, it was like that, of just like sliding mud. But that was cool, I just discovered somewhere new. I just trod a new path. But yeah, to ruin all of that, as I was walking up, someone's fly tipped an absolute load of shit here at some point. It's disgusting, it is proper disgusting. And to top it all off, I stood on my own lace and to undo it as I was walking up as I got into the mud, so... Oh. Right, we're back where we started now, and yeah, as you can probably hear, we're on a big, noisy, busy main road, which is boring. You don't want to see that, guys, so let's get home and dry, and I'll meet you there for roundup.
Hey, you're back for the roundup, so let's have a look at our stats. Today we did 16.57 kilometres, nice, that's a good amount, isn't it? And we did it in 2 hours, 19 minutes and 20 seconds. It was quite hilly as well, so 425 metres of elevation. Again, I always like to use the marker of Pennygent, which is a mountain in the Dales, and that's 450 metres, so 27 metres off a mountain, that's pretty good, it's not bad. So it set us at a pace of 8 minutes 24 per kilometre. We're only walking, remember, so that's not too bad. Calorie-wise, hey, we burnt 1,425 calories. What is that? What is 1,425 calories worth? Well, a takeaway pizza on average is 1,835 calories. So I've kind of, because let's say 400 calories is a good meal, I guess. So I've earned myself a takeaway pizza if I really wanted. But I'll save that for Saturday, you know, I'll save that for the weekend. If I'm doing that multiple times a week, then I could be having loads of takeaway pizzas. No, that's not the idea. I've put it as a moderate thing because there was quite a lot of climbing. Dark Lane is always a killer. Getting up to Beacon Hill, that's always a big climb because we were working. But overall, it's been a good walk. Always like walking down that Hove Valley. The Brickworks is so cool. The old theme park, kind of like, I say derelict, but it's not really a building, is it? It's just like the disused theme park. That's what I should say. Beacon Hill with all the views of Halifax. Shibden and Shibden Hall is really historic and it's just vast, really cool, really nice to look at, well maintained. And Shibden Mill Inn, really old building, and you've got a river running right through it. So it was a good backdrop for a little chat with friends, which is always nice as well on a walk. It wasn't a very nice day today, was it? But at the same time, it didn't bother me. I had all my kit on, so why was I bothered if it was just a bit of rain? It just brushed off me like water off a duck's back, those little ducks that we saw in Shibden. If you liked this, stomp that like button with your walking boots. Subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell so you can stay up to date on all of the walks with Will. And yeah, leave a comment and just tell me if there's anything you want to see, if there's anything that doesn't look great, if there's anything that could be better, anything like that. I always forget to say this, but in the description there is a link to the GPX map that you can go on your phone, and if you've got like an app like OS Maps or All Trails, it'll come right up so you can follow it as well. Other than that, Walking with Will on Instagram and Facebook, and then just Will Edmondson on Strava as well, so you can see everywhere that I go. But yeah, well, that's kind of it really, and I'll catch you next time for another walk with Will.